Suddenly, 4 men appeared, and Ogata sprinkled them with a mysterious liquid, commanding them to obey Okon. Okon was shocked when he saw his father's spirit appear, and the 4 men bowed their heads in respect before leaving. A long time ago, in the bustling city of Lagos, lived a young man named Okon. He was an only child, born to loving parents who cared deeply for him. His family had roots in a distant place called Ogatawa, known for its lush hills and serene beauty. Okon's father was a busy man who owned a transport business. He was always working, leaving Okon feeling alone and distant from him. Okon promised himself he wouldn't be like his father and chose a different path, working as a security guard to spend more time with his family. One day, Okon received a call from his father's friend, Mr. Akpan. His father had passed away, and as the only son, Okon had to arrange the funeral. Okon felt a mix of emotions but decided to be strong for his family. After the funeral, Mr. Akpan visited Okon and told him he must keep the transport business going, as it was his father's wish. Reluctantly, Okon agreed, and the next day, he met Mr. Akpan at the business site. There, Mr. Akpan introduced Okon to a traditional healer named Ogata. Ogata explained that he had always advised Okon's father on important decisions. He handed Okon the keys to the business, saying he was now the leader of a legacy that went beyond the living. Suddenly, 4 men appeared, and Ogata sprinkled them with a mysterious liquid, commanding them to obey Okon. Okon was shocked when he saw his father's spirit appear, and the 4 men bowed their heads in respect before leaving. Okon tried to push the strange event to the back of his mind, but he soon noticed that his drivers never spoke. They only nodded their heads to show they understood his instructions. He called Mr. Akpan, who simply said, "That's how it's done," and hung up. Then, Okon's buses started having accidents every year, with people dying, but the drivers were never at fault. Okon discovered that the drivers' tongues had been cut out, and he began to suspect they were feeding on the blood of accident victims. Disturbed and desperate, Okon sought help from another traditional healer named Anoti. Anoti listened to Okon's story and revealed that the business was cursed due to a dark pact made by his father. To break the curse, Okon had to perform a cleansing ritual at the business site and confront the spirits tied to the curse. At midnight, Okon and Anoti began the ritual. The air grew cold, and the spirits of the 4 men appeared, along with Okon's father. The spirits were angry, but Anoti's presence kept them at bay. Okon's father admitted that he had made a pact with the spirits, sacrificing the voices and lives of the drivers for prosperity. Anoti told Okon to apologize to the spirits and promised to dismantle the business. Okon stepped forward, apologized, and promised to free them. The spirits nodded, and the heavy air lifted slightly. Anoti completed the ritual, and the spirits vanished. Okon felt a strange peace wash over him. The next day, Okon closed the transport business. The drivers, now freed from the curse, were grateful and could speak again. They shared their stories of suffering and thanked Okon. Okon sold the business assets and helped the former drivers start new lives. He found a job that allowed him to support his family without being tied to the dark legacy. Okon's relationship with his wife improved as he opened up about the events. They moved forward together, stronger and united. Breaking free from the dark legacy allowed Okon and his family to find peace and build a better future grounded in love, integrity, and mutual support. The new life Okon and his family built was peaceful. His wife, Bella, supported him through the transition, and their bond grew stronger each day. The former drivers, now freed, started their own small businesses with Okon's help. Everything seemed to be falling into place, and the dark days of the cursed transport business began to fade into a distant memory. One quiet evening, as Okon sat on the porch of their new home, he noticed an old man approaching. The man had a weathered face and kind eyes that seemed to hold many secrets. He introduced himself as the old man, a traveling storyteller who had heard about Okon's ordeal and the breaking of the curse. "I have come to share a story with you, Okon," the old man said. "A story that may help you understand your father's actions and the legacy you now carry." Okon invited the old man to sit, and the old man began his tale. He spoke of a time long ago when Ogatawa was a place of great magic and mystery. The people there were blessed with prosperity, but it came at a cost. The elders of the village had made a pact with powerful spirits to ensure their land flourished. Every generation, a family was chosen to uphold this pact, and the Okon's father family had been selected. "Your father was a man torn between duty and love," the old man explained. "He made the pact to protect his family and ensure their prosperity, but he didn't foresee the darkness it would bring. His intentions were pure, but the spirits demanded more than he could give." Okon listened intently, understanding his father in a new light. He felt a mix of sadness and empathy for the man who had sacrificed so much for his family. The old man continued, "The spirits are powerful, but they are also bound by the laws of our world. They demand respect and recognition. The ritual you performed freed the drivers, but the spirits still linger. They seek balance and will not rest until it is achieved." Okon felt a chill run down his spine. "What must I do?" the old man, he asked, his voice steady but filled with concern. "You must journey to Ogatawa," the old man replied. "There, you will find the answers you seek and learn how to bring true peace to your family and the spirits that haunt your legacy." The next day, Okon prepared for the journey. Bella insisted on coming along, unwilling to leave her husband to face the unknown alone. Together, they traveled to the distant hills of Ogatawa, a place Okon had only heard of in stories. When they arrived, the villagers welcomed them warmly. They recognized Okon's family name and spoke of the great respect they had for his ancestors. The old man, who had traveled with them, guided Okon and Bella to a sacred grove deep within the hills. The grove was a place of ancient power, where the spirits were believed to reside. As they entered the grove, a heavy silence fell over them. The air was thick with anticipation, and Okon could feel the presence of the spirits watching. The old man began to chant softly, calling the spirits to reveal themselves. Suddenly, the grove filled with a swirling mist, and the spirits of the four men appeared once more, their faces stern but curious. Okon's father, Mr. Adebayo, appeared last, his expression one of sorrow and regret. Okon stepped forward, his heart pounding. "I have come to seek the truth," he said, his voice echoing in the stillness. "I want to understand the pact and find a way to bring peace to both the living and the spirits." The spirits listened, and one of them, a tall man with piercing eyes, spoke.
"The pact was made to protect the land and its people," he said. "But over time, the balance was lost. Greed and fear corrupted the original intent. To restore balance, a sacrifice must be made, one of true selflessness and
love." Okon felt a sense of determination. "I am willing to do whatever it takes," he declared. "Tell me what I must do." The spirit nodded. "You must perform a ritual of unity, bringing together the living and the spirits in a bond of mutual respect. It will require the strength of your family and the support of the village. The old man guided Okon and Bella through the steps of the ritual. They gathered the villagers and explained what needed to be done. The villagers, moved by the story of Okon's family and their commitment to restoring balance, agreed to help. As night fell, they prepared the sacred grove for the ritual. The villagers brought offerings of food and drink, symbols of their respect for the spirits. Okon and Bella stood in the center, holding hands, as the old man began to chant the ancient words. The spirits appeared, their forms shimmering in the moonlight. Okon's father stepped forward, placing his hand on Okon's shoulder. "You have shown great courage, my son," he said. "The spirits recognize your sincerity. Together, we can bring peace to our legacy." The ritual continued, the air thick with energy. The villagers joined hands, forming a circle around Okon and Bella. The old man's chants grew louder, resonating with the power of the land. The spirits moved among the villagers, their presence felt by all. Just as the ritual reached its climax, a sudden gust of wind swept through the grove, and a blinding light enveloped them all. When the light faded, the spirits were gone. And the grove felt lighter, as if a great weight had been lifted. Okon looked around, his heart filled with hope. He knew that the journey to restore balance was not over, but they had taken a significant step. The villagers cheered, their voices filled with joy and relief. As Okon and Bella made their way back to the village, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had faced the darkness of their legacy and emerged stronger. The future was uncertain, but they were ready to face it together.